Hey everyone, so this is week 12, our constellations, and what you've gotten to take home already are the little round circles of cardboard that are all labeled so you know which way is up on each one, and they're organized by constellation, in sets by constellation, and you've got those home with you, plus a couple pages of the cutouts that will go on the blank ones where they'll put their name. So what you'll have in the bin that will come around, there's a couple things. You'll have a bunch of glue. There'll be a bunch of glue sticks and some regular school glue, whatever the kids end up preferring for gluing that section on. You'll have a copy. I've already given you a black and white copy of the instructions, but if you need another copy, it's in here. And it gives a little bit of background about some just some basic astronomy and stars. And then inside it has some stories of the constellations. So while the kids are poking out the holes, if you want to go over that and read that story to them, you can, up to you. And look over this at home if you can. If you need another copy of it, let me know and I can try to send you a PDF of it. But I think I handed it out at a tutor meeting. And you've got a small kind of how to do the dot to dots to draw it. And then copies of this, but again, you've already received a copy of what to cut out to put on the back there. This is the final product of all the constellations, plus what you'll be cutting out and gluing on the blank one where they can put their name, and I'll show you on the back, they can, if you have time, create their own constellation. So, also in the bin, you'll have a blow-up copy of how to connect the dots on your constellations, because sometimes it's not as obvious as we might like to think. So you'll have one copy of that to show the kids and to use for yourself. And then you'll also have big copies of what how the stars are supposed to look like, what it is, the constellations, the story, everything. So the Big Dipper, and these are all labeled too, so they can kind of see where they got their names from. So those will all be in the bin that will rotate around. So what you'll do, really you can pass them out however you want. What I would recommend doing is pick a constellation to start with, or probably first do hand out the cutouts or have the kids cut out those pieces of paper where they'll put their names on it. And on the blank, there'll be one of the, oops, sorry, that's not blank yet, but one of the circles doesn't have any dots in it, and there's no label on it. It's totally blank, it's solid, and you'll glue that part just on it like this and have them write their names there. They can write their name after the glue dries. But you might want to do that one first and then just set it aside next to each kid. So I would hand them out one circle at a time. First the blank one to glue on their little nameplate, and it also gives a little information about the constellations. And then I would just start with any constellation and say, all right, we're all going to do Leo right now, okay? So you hand out the Leo one, and they get to, some of these fell out, but they get to go, and these are all already punched out. You could use a pencil if you need to, but I can just do this with my fingernail pretty easily. They just kind of pop right out. And then, I forgot to bring a pencil with me. That's all right. Then make sure that the label is facing you. That's important because otherwise your animal or your picture is going to be backwards and it won't match up with what we're doing. But then you can see on here, so this is Leo here, and I've got it turned, and then you can see how you're going to connect the dots with this. So they'll all get their pencils out. You should have them in your bins, but I've got more pencils and scissors in. Use this guide to know how to connect the dots on your constellation guide. So this is one that was done, sorry, I forgot to bring my pencil, so I'm not showing you. So we just connected the dots here for Leo. So it starts out looking like this, and then you use your pencil or markers. There's markers in the supply room, and it'll end up looking like this, which still doesn't really look like a lion, but you can then show them the picture. This is what they imagine. There are a few more stars than what are just on their circles, but you can still see the basic shape that we have on our constellation circle there. And so you'll go through that. So you'd all do one constellation. I just showed you Leo, then pick another one, pass out Orion, do another one, and go through all of them. While they're punching it out, if you want to read the stories about each constellation, you can. Up to you how you want to plan that out. After they get all of them together, then you should have enough of the little key rings here. Oh, this one flipped around. to be able to put them all on key rings. Backwards. Anyway, there we go. To put them all together so then they have a set. And with these, you can use your cell phone to, turn on the light on your cell phone and project the constellations on the wall. And you can even do that in the classroom, even with the lights on. Usually we can show them pretty well. So whatever moms you have in the room, have them flip their cell phone light on, and you can shine it through. And that's the whole idea of these, is they can take these home and, practice seeing the constellations on the wall, and then eventually maybe see them outside when they're out at dark, especially with the time change, it gets dark. Anyway, so that is this activity. And if you have time, you can use the blank one that has your nameplate on it. On the back side, they can draw their own constellation. I don't have any stickers this year, but I was just playing around, and I would just draw dots for the stars, and I did a tree. But that's just if you have time, or if they would have fun doing that. Let me know if you have any questions. I think that's it.